I have been using this lens a lot, and what can I say about this lens? So how do you guys like this lens? For your information, this is a prototype Hologon f8. It's once again made by our favorite, made in China by the company called Light Lens Lab. Again, this is a prototype. It's not expensive looking. It's not rich in detail whatsoever. Well, it's not fair to pass any judgment for the time being, since this is a prototype. If you go to their Instagram page, there are some few images taken by using this lens, and guess what? Yeah, it's done by me. So I guess since they have released these images, I am guessing they will be launching this lens soon enough. I have no idea how much this lens is going to cost. Hopefully not too expensive. This lens, it wasn't that popular. My friend Jeffo, he has two original cow-sized Hologon in Leica mount. Only 200 copies were made, and now it's really sought after among the Leica collectors. But the lens is way too expensive for me to take it out and use it. It's too scary for me. Well, I guess I like it. The reason being, it's not the image quality or anything. It's very likely if I were to get one, I wouldn't use the centigrade filter. I actually like the four dark corners. The reason why I like this lens is because zone focusing. Would you still call this a zone focus? No, this is, well, yeah, I suppose you could call it a zone focusing. This lens is fast. Not in terms of the aperture value. It's an f8. It's fixed. You don't need to focus. All you have to do is raise your camera and press the shutter, and voila. If you're slow in manual focusing, you will probably like this lens. 15 mm. That's really wide. This I would say this is a fairly difficult lens to use. Well, actually, no, I won't call it a difficult lens to use, because you will really have to get close to the subject. I mean, literally. I'm talking about slightly more than an arm distance. The subject might hear the shutter noise. Another trick is keep the ISO high. I try to keep mine like way above 800. The speed will be 1/500, shooting directly into the sun. It's got this really strange flare. It's got the lines and all that. Maybe some of you guys might call it a defect, or maybe just the so-called characteristic of this lens. Whatever it is, this particular defect, I actually like it, because I don't know, I like the flaws in a lens. Because think about it, all these modern lenses, they're pretty much perfect. So what is the point of getting these lenses since they are already perfect? Discovering a flaw in a lens and see how you can work around it. It's a lot of try and error. It's a lot of fun. I don't use a external viewfinder because I just don't see the point of it. It really makes the whole camera bulky, so no viewfinder for me. Raise the camera high, chest level, drop the camera, I suppose. No, I'm not literally dropping the camera, but putting the camera on the floor, for example, that will create a lot of strange image using this lens. The best thing about this lens, I would say, it's almost distortion free. This is an ultra wide lens. I mean, architectural, perfect. Street photography, surprisingly, this is really good for street photography. Well, especially if you are in a crowded area. So I guess this is a really good lens to have if you live in Hong Kong. Well, this place, it's always crowded, it's always flooded with people. So now, as for Light Lens Lab, they are making a lot of replicas. One end of the spectrum, it's good because they're making these retro lenses, so that's good for us as a user. As long as the price is reasonable, I'm happy with it. I like these strange lenses. It's a lot of fun using it. It's quite a challenge. It's so unlike the lenses that the conventional lenses, for example, that using the 35 or even the 50. This is a whole new experience for me. So yeah, if you're looking for a new challenge, this would be a good toy to have. Back to the branding itself, the Light Lens Lab. There's still few people who are against the brand. They don't like the fact that they simply duplicate these retro lenses. They are entitled to their belief, because at the end of the day, it's up to them whether they will buy the lens or not. Once they've bought it, it's up to them whether to use the lens on a regular basis or not. It just, I think photography in general, it's a really personal thing. I could say I like this lens a lot, but you might think otherwise. You might think oh my god, man, it's way too wide. It's really, I don't like the glare, I don't like the flare, I don't like all these lines, strange lines. I don't like the dark four corners. It's really disgusting. It's ugly. It's it's all good. All comments are, I would say, all fair and square. We were on what you call it, the Clubhouse. So we were doing this sort of like a podcast thingy, and one of the guys came up to our show, to our talk. If he was to buy the Light Lens Lab, he would expect the company, this company here, to disclose where they got the glass to make the lens. Specifically this guy here, the China-Gon 8 element. I find that to be a strange comment. The reason being, is it really that important? For me, completely not. Maybe for him, yeah. I find it kind of strange, but that's okay. Nobody's perfect, I suppose. But anyway, another comment was, again, it's kind of a strange comment. I have to turn off this air purifier. It's making quite a lot of humming noises. It's so much quieter now. Man, I love these apps. But anyway, back to this China-made Hologon. Hey Vic, I don't trust these photos in the social media or, basically on the internet. And I said, why not? These are the sample images taken by using this lens with this particular camera. He replied he doesn't trust these photos. I don't exactly know what exactly that he doesn't trust. He said, I have to use the lens myself in order to determine whether this lens is good or not. What I mean by this lens is this China-made China-Gon. He told me he would need to use this lens for a couple of days in order to decide if this lens is good or not. Specifically, if this lens is any good, okay, not whether this lens would suit him or not. You know, there's a couple of questions that just came out the moment he said that. Number one, like 2 days, really? Is that enough to really know the lens? I don't know. Maybe he's a really talented guy. I don't know. Secondly, it's if you want to buy a car, yes, you will go for a test ride. Say, for example, you want to buy a barbecue grill. You are not going to the seller and demand to use that grill for a couple of days in order to see whether this lens is or this grill is appropriate or suitable to you. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Even Leica, you don't go up to a Leica shop and say like, all right, I want to test drive this latest the monochrome. How I see it is like a lot of these photos on the internet, they are for reference only. There came another guy. He said like, all right, in order to determine the quality of this lens, he will get one through eBay or whatever, and he will disassemble it, cut it open or whatever. I guess like he's got all these machines to pry the lens open and determine whether this is a quality lens or not. Oh wow, it's a lens, for crying out loud. Why do we have to make it so complicated? You either like it, you're willing to buy it, or you don't. Why are we making it so complicated? It's just a lens, man. Come on. Why are we making all these fuss about it? All right. For the sake of full disclosure, I've got these lenses. Well, okay. This lens belongs to me. I like it, so I bought it, and I've been using it a lot. I've got this. This Hologon, this is a prototype, it's not mine. I've got this from my friend Jeffo, who's a lens collector. He just buys a shitload of lenses. And lastly, so far this prototype Hologon does fit the Leica M. Alright, but this lens will not work on the Leica SL1 because it jams the shutter. I was using the Leica M adapter mounted onto the Leica SL, and the shutter just got jammed. A different mount, I put it on the GH4. Yes, it could be done, but the same mount, the same setup with this lens, I'll try to mount it onto the Blackmagic 4K. It doesn't work. I cannot seem to mount the lens onto the Blackmagic 4K. So just watch out for it. Again, they might have the improvement once the final version is out in the market. Keep in mind this is a prototype and nothing has been finalized yet. Yeah, that's all I have to say really. So how do you guys like the Hologon? Let me know your thought. Well, anyway, that's about it for this video. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.